Ullor is still in the Soul Forge at the time of making this video and is one of the most underrated mythics in the game for me. It does depend upon your play style. If you're a risk versus reward skull heavy type player, then it may not be for you, but if you enjoy the alternative ways of playing, like decimating an opponent's stats, crippling them to the point that they might as well be a insignificant baby badger when attacking you, then Ullor is a lot of fun. Also really good on Guild Wars days as well. This can really surprise people when they wonder how they got frozen and fairy-fired out of nowhere and my god, what happened to my stats. Really fun to use. Let's take a look at why I think Ullor is so good. Now, I'll just go quickly over Ullor's spell and the pros and cons of it and why some people think it's underwhelming, but why I think it's actually really good. Eliminates a magic-based attack from the first two enemies and magic-based magic from the last two enemies, then drains all mana from the two strongest enemies. Some people say, well, okay, that's all well and good taking that stuff away, but he's got no chance of an extra turn. You need someone else there to do the damage. If you even manage to kill the first two opponents, then if the other team has a summon, they're going to come back with full magic and full attack and things like that, and they are true points. But if you cast Ullor at the correct time, that becomes utterly irrelevant, and I'll show you how to do that. And people forget as well that the effect of his eliminating attack and magic, etc. is permanent. It's gone forever. You cast this guy a couple of times at the right moments, you can reduce the opposition to just useless babies almost. They become literally irrelevant and it becomes literally impossible for them to win the game. Literally impossible. So I'll show how to do that. Like for example, a troop like Arachnian Weaver does web all enemies when it casts its spell, but web does reduce your magic to 0, but that can be cleansed. When this guy casts, those stats are a permanent gone forever. As well as that, he's got a superb third trait, freeze and fairy fire a random enemy when matching blue gems. Just by matching blue gems, as simple as that, freeze and fairy fire, that is pretty awesome. It's a really good way to counter goblin teams. Quite often with goblins you have to go with elementalist class and something like that and hope you get a 4-match to slow them down. With this, just a blue match is going to freeze those goblins. Simple as that. So if you get in a team with a lot of blue and a blue storm, you are going to get plenty of them, and this is a good counter to goblins at the same time. As well as that eliminating the attack and magic, remember, as soon as you kill the first couple of troops, they automatically become the first two, last two, and the strongest two. So all those effects get condensed onto them at the same time, which makes it ridiculously powerful. Right, but how about the rest of the team? Now, Skadi works superbly well in this team. She has an Ice Storm at the start of every turn with that third trait. She freezes and mana burns the first two enemies, which is handy, but then knocks them to last position. Now, this is key with Ullor because if you remember, his spell is to reduce the attack of the first two, the magic of the last two. So if you choose, and you so desire, you can cast Skadi, switch them two around, and do the same to them. So you're taking the attack and magic away from literally everybody. She has a summon as well. So all round, synergizes with the team really well. Now we have Balder here as the main damage dealer. Skadi will do some damage with her mana burn, but Balder is the main guy for the damage, creating 4 skulls boosted by blue allies. We've got 4 blue allies, so that means 16 skulls every single time he casts. Now this is where the weapon comes into it, and this is why I love this team. There's so many good things about it. It is crazy the way it works well with each other. I'm actually in geomancer class for this. Reduced damage from skulls by 50% is just beneficial on its own, but with Balder casting so many spells, should the game suddenly decide that somehow they don't make an alignment or the enemy gets to hit us back with skulls, then we've got 50% reduction from them. And remember, the Ullor would have probably already reduced the attack from those enemies as well, which reduces that even further, to the point of almost being a joke. Champion talents, mostly are good. Serendipity, really handy. Anti-magic sphere, really good. Rock solid, superb. Tree of knowledge, fantastic. So all good to go. Let's jump into a team, or not into a team, a game even. Just show the banner. +2 blue, +1 yellow, -1 green. Right, let's dive into a couple of PvPs and I'll switch team around slightly after this. I'll do a couple of fights with this team and I'll show you how you can adjust it slightly and make the team work in a completely different way, but still using Ullor in a really, really good way. So dangerous team list, 3 troops are invulnerable, so they're not going to be affected by our Fairy Fire or our freeze from Ullor's blue. So let's get our Oshia's Tome up. Now what we can do already is, like, the dangerous part of this team is obviously the attack on that team, on their towers, and the fact that they have 50% skull reduction. So what we can do, we can cast Ullor, bang, taking it down to 30 already, as well as reducing the effects of these bottom 2 troops because we've taken away their magic. That Essence of Evil is now just exploding 15 gems, but on the second cast we'll do even less. Deal 22 damage to all enemies now is Enraged Kurundara. He's been absolutely crippled. We can, if you want, switch these troops around now, but we don't want to do that just yet. We want to cast Ullor one more time. We'll do this now. I could have cast, obviously, Balder now on, but I'm just showing the effect of Ullor. It's an exaggerated effect I'm showing here. You can do the game a lot faster than this. I'm showing the team for effects and how good Ullor can be if you want him to be. Now, 0 attack. 0 attack. No magic. They're going to explode 1 gem. Enraged Kurundara. No magic. Deal 5 damage to all enemies. Ludicrous. If you want to now, you can actually cast Skadi, switch these 2 around, and then do the same to the opposites. But I'm just going to cast some of our borders, start getting rid of some of these towers from the front. And now the cool effect of Ullor is exaggerated even more because we've got less enemies. Now these 2 become the first 2. These 2 become the last 2 still. So the less enemies that there are there, the more powerful Ullor actually becomes. It's kind of ludicrous. It feels almost unfair, to be honest. Oh look, Enraged Kurundara is about to cast 5 damage to all enemies, then convert yellow to Doomskulls. I don't care if the board is full of yellow. I got 0 attack. It's nothing. Let's hit that anyway and just for fun. Now let's just cast Ullor and just start, not Ullor, Balder. Let's start doing a bit of damage to them now. I've shown the effect of Ullor. Like I say, the game didn't have to be this long. We can now actually cast Skadi if we want, but you do have to be careful about bringing the last 2 enemies to the front. I'll just show what happens there. See, we brought Enraged Kurundara to the front. That could have been a dangerous situation because he's the only one with significant attack still. We can actually cast Oshia's Tome, charge up Ullor one more time, and take away all their attack. And now I've got 29 attack, 0 attack, 0 attack, only 14 magic, no magic, no magic. The team is useless. They're just absolutely like little baby badgers just nibbling away at you, being annoying. It's like, could have done this earlier, just cast Balder a few times to win the game. But I'm just showing the effect of Ullor. How effective do you want it to be depends upon the game. But he is absolutely superb at crippling the team. They've got a summon there, you see, as what some people said was the weakness of Ullor, but it's actually a strength because you can cast it again and you've still got that ability to take away their attack, take away their magic, mana drain them, all from one spell. Let's just finish the game properly now. So that's how effective Ullor can be. He's absolutely superb. But now I'll show a different team and how you can just switch things around a bit. So for this team, all I've done is swap out Balder for Fountain of Stars. But Balder was our main damage dealer, but this time we've got a major mana generator in Fountain of Stars. Converts 5 green gems to purple potions, which is good because we don't use green anyway, and all brown to skulls, which we can look out for as extra damage. Then cleanse all Fey allies. This is a Fey itself, and so is Skadi and Ullor, which is cool. And it also has a 15% chance to bless all allies when my turn begins. So this team is not going to be as quick as the Balder ones. This is more an effect video just to show how you can just generate loads of mana if you want it, and how you can reduce the opposition team to a useless bunch of babies, basically. Alright, so let's cast that weapon. Let's grab some of this. Let's cast Ullor. Let's reduce the attack on the first two now. They've been reduced down. But what you want to do is reduce the magic. See, Chalcedony has been affected on her damage output because we've reduced the magic on the bottom two, but that one hasn't been affected by that yet. So you can now cast Fountain of Stars maybe. This is going to generate some good purple for the team as well as do some incidental damage. And what we got next? We can do that and get a yellow match. Now the cool thing about this is we're going to explode this potion at the same time with Oshia's Tome. Lots more purple coming. Now we can go about it as we want. Do we want to reduce the damage, the output, and the attack, sorry, on the first two? They're now 0 attack each. These ones have got just now 4 damage to an enemy, nothing. Ironhawk doesn't really get affected, only explodes 1 gem though, so that's pretty cool. We can finish him off. Take a look around for brown to skulls, but we're not ready with Fountain of Stars yet, so in that case we'll cast Oshia's Tome. Get loads of mana for the team. No brown to skulls, so we'll swap them around. So we'll hit them with that first. There you go. Take that. The only thing you have to remember is when you swap them around with Skadi is you're going to be putting the ones with attack back to the top again. So that is something to be wary of. So for that reason we'll get Ullor up first. And then we'll cast this. We've got a barrier anyway. Now we can take their attack. Now we can generate mana for the team again. And think about trying to finish them off. Obviously it's not like a blindingly fast team, but it's not meant to be. This is just showing the effect of Ullor, of how good he can be at just reducing the enemy team to nothing. Now everybody's got no attack. These have got like no magic. They're doing nothing at all. Absolutely useless. Let's hit him with some mana burn. One's impervious, so we must have brown to skulls, surely. Yeah, a little bit. Not loads, but they've got no attack, so we don't particularly care too much. Ludicrous amount of purple coming. Let's finish him off. Ooh, all them skulls, but no damage. But unlucky that we didn't generate... Ah, we got some here, look. Instant skull drops are going to be painful to them. And that is that. So, slower, but mana gen on a extreme scale. But and fun to use with Ullor. Just when you want to show how much you can reduce the effectiveness of another team by. Right, all I've done with this team is swap out Fountain of Stars for Vernalis. Vernalis kind of does the opposite of Ullor. He gives attack to the 2 strongest allies, gives life to the 2 weakest allies, and gives 10 magic to the 2 strongest allies. So the same kind of thing, but in a good way for our allies. He also entangles and fairy fires a random enemy when matching green gems. So with this team, just by making normal gem matches, not even 4 matches, whenever we get green, we're going to entangle and fairy fire someone. By collecting a normal blue, we're going to freeze and fairy fire someone. And by collecting brown, we are going to get a barrier. So really cool. We can cripple the opposition with Ullor. We can buff our team up with Vernalis. And do some damage with Skadi and incidental skull drops. We'll look for yellow or blue straight away, but failing any of them, we may as well just get something else. Next return there on that. We'll grab that. Let's cast this. This is always going to explode nearly all the gems on the screen. Ullor's ready to go, but we may as well get the rest of the team charged up at the same time. There's always a blue storm going with this, all the while Skadi is around, so Blue gems will fall more than the other colours. Alright, let's hit him with that. Let's hit him with Ullor now. Now, Web Spinner, currently normally a very dangerous opponent. Only 67 attack right now, 70 attack on that one. And these bottom troops have quite a high amount of damage, 66 to all enemies. And then convert yellow to Doom Skulls. And then Rabbit gives 40 life to all other allies. But let's have one cast with Ullor. Just one cast. Bang. 28 attack, 31 attack. Just 7 damage to all enemies now. Just 1 life to all other allies. Rendered pretty much useless. And we can, if you want, now buff up our team. We've now cast Benalis. We've now increased the attack on the top 2. This normally buffs her magic as well, which gives her mana burn more of an effect. So just charge the team up again a bit. We're not worried about them particularly anymore. We've got Stone Skin, reducing the damage of Web Spinner by 50% on those skull hits. Let's now do some mana burn and swap the team around with Scardy, and now hit them with that. We've now got them reduced on attack as well. The bottom troops now will be affected by the magic loss. And we can just start going to town on taking their team apart. This is just for fun now. You don't need to cast Ullor anymore, but it's just for effect to show how you can reduce the attack to 0 on teams again. This is going to reduce the magic to 0 on the last 2. So easy, it's almost unfair. We can cast Benalis again to give ourselves even more attack, creating all those skulls for doing no damage. You can actually make the other team work for you in a way by creating all that damage, all those skulls which they can't effectively use. They're basically making those skulls for you. Yeah, they've got cleansed all them skulls. Thank you very much. Whatever you leave behind, I will use. Thank you. Have you finished? Thank you. Right. Agile, he says. Ah, sneaky. Web Spinner created some green. It's the same as the last team. It's not like super duper fast, but it's just a fun team to show the effect of Ullor. There's no need to cast him as much as I'm doing it. This is literally to show how, if you want to, you can seriously cripple the opponent. But here we've got like a huge amount of attack. Let's take away the last bit of attack from those last 2. Get some mana burn going on. Any incidental skull hits are going to be deadly now because we've got high attack. So again, another really good team. That's not particularly fast, but it is a lot of fun to use. And again, like Ullor can surprise people on a Guild Wars day because people don't often, you're not used to seeing it. Like, and just collecting blue is going to just verify someone, freeze them. And when they get hit by that effect of just reducing all the stats on their team, it can really, really surprise someone and catch them out and reduce the effectiveness of their team in a really big way. So there's Ullor and why I really like him. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. But most of all, thanks for watching. Catch you again next time. Bye for now.